Hello and welcome to Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. My name is Teresa. I'd like to welcome you outside underneath the canopy in my backyard where it is starting to cool down, and we're going to have what I call a little bit of fun because I love putting together fire starter kits. And a lot of people are not teaching you how to make them because what are you going to do? Grid goes down. There's no propane. There's no gas. Not that you should be using gas to start a fire. There's no charcoal lighter fluid, and you need to cook some food. You're going to need to know how to make fire. And don't always rely on a Bic lighter, because after a while they will give out on you. Now let's get started. And yes, I do love to make traditional campfires. Alright, this is my mixing pan, and at the end of the video it'll be my fire pan. Now you want to make sure that all your ingredients are bone dry. We're going to add a little bit of pine needles, and I've got some very dry cedar. You want to make sure that this is very flammable. It's safe now, but you want to make sure that it's really dry and flammable, so when you go to make your fire, it's going to start up for you. And I have some very dry, what I call fat wood. See how dry and brittle that is? That will light fast. And believe it or not, lint is highly flammable. So you want to save it from your dryer, or if you don't have a dryer, ask your local laundromat if you could get a bag of their lint. And I'm going to mix it up. Now of course, when you go to start it, you're going to want to, open it back up so that it can breathe a little. And I store them in Ziploc baggies. Be careful when you're adding it in that you don't poke no holes in your bag. Now if you are able to get a hold of paper bark birch bark, that is amazing for a fire starter. It will light up and burn very well. But a lot of people aren't telling you. They're teaching you how to cook. They're teaching you how to bug out and everything, but they sure aren't showing you how to make a fire starter. And as you notice, you don't need a whole lot. Of course, when you go to make your fire, you're going to want to have a bunch of dry kindling and a few big dry logs. Once you get the kindling going, old-fashioned way of vacuum sealing, and that'll keep the air out of it, and it'll stay dry as a bone. Whew. Oh, I was going to use this. I won it in a contest. I was going to use this. Let's see, let me brighten it up some. It's not going to brighten up. But I was going to use this. It's a Duraflame Fire Start. It was crumbling up, and I done a test run on it yesterday. That stuff smelled like burning plastic and would get you caught in a heartbeat if you're having to bug out. So, yeah, that's a no. I won't be using that. That stuff stunk, and it was just bubbling. It never really caught on fire or anything. And it not only smelled like burnt plastic, but if you've ever been around a house fire, it smelled like burning electrical wires. And when you're if you have to bug out or cook in your backyard and start a fire, the least amount of smoke is going to be your best and safest bet. So they don't find you or see you, and you want dry wood. Dry fire starter, dry wood, because if you have to use green wood, it's going to make a lot of smoke and you will be found. And of course, if you want to break this up more, you can. You don't have to. You can use, these are dried eastern red cedar needles. You can use spruce needles. Like I said, pine bark is good, but the best one is your paper bark birch tree bark. That stuff is wonderful to use. And you're going to be surprised when you see how flammable lint really is and how good it burns. And you're going to want to make sure you have plenty of these made back, because if you don't have no way to cook, this will help you start a campfire so that you can have a meal. Because you can't always guarantee that when if you're bugging out or trying to cook in your backyard, you can't always guarantee that your fire starter is going to be dry. This way you can guarantee that it's absolute dry. And like I said, you gotta be careful how you put it down in your bag. And these are little sandwich baggies. That should be plenty enough as long as you've got good dry kindling to get a good fire started. And the good thing about anything that falls out while you're bagging it up, you just slide it to the side and add it to the next bag. And these can be carried in bug out bags. I would prefer to have a whole tote full of them, or a big bag you can carry, because that way each one of these, now you can't always keep a fire started, but once you get a fire started, if you can keep it going, you won't have to have a bunch of these. But there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to keep it started and keep it burning, unless you got you found a whole bunch of sticks that you can use. So now let's get ready to have some fun here. I like to make mine into like a nest, and that way you can catch the spark better. I'm going to add a little bit of the cedar needles. A little bit of the lint. A little bit more cedar needles. Very dry fatwood shavings. I'm going to add a few more pieces of lint. Okay. Scoot that back because I definitely do not want it sparking. Now, what I'm going to be using today is a magnesium bar. Now, it comes with a very, very sad striker. I never use it. I usually discard it because it's about as worthless as can be. Now, you can use a good pair of scissors. Now, to help you, if you want to, better chance of sparking, scrape that magnesium bar and get your flakes going. And that will help out a whole lot. Or, now I've seen a lot of people give really bad advice. You've never used the blade of your knife because you never want to mess your blade of your knife up. But if you've got a good knife, it's got a really good hard back of the blade that will scrape it off as well. I'm going to stand up for this one. Oh. And do not worry one bit. I am rusty. It's been a while. But you know what? Practice makes perfect. Now, like I said, you can use the back of a pair of scissors. Or you can use the back, the ridge of your knife, never your blade. And see, sometimes it just takes a little while, but you'll get it. Practice. Practice. Practice and don't give up. And at first you don't succeed, guess what? Keep on going. And see, we have it. Now it's when you're going to want to. Now you wouldn't be using it in a pie plate, but you could in case your ground's wet. And you can add that also in with your fire starter. But you see it's burning good. Now's when you would want to start putting your kindling on top of it and get ready to start cooking some food here after a while. Let me move this pie plate before it gets too hot. See, simple, easy, burning beautifully. There's going to be a little bit of smoke because of the lint, but you know what? You can do it if I can do it. You can do it. You have to believe in yourself and just know how to set up you a very good dry fire starter. Simple, easy. You see it's still a burning. That will save your life when the grid goes down or there's no propane to cook anything on. You can't get any charcoal. That is what you're going to need to know how to do to make you a fire, because there's a lot of people out there that do not know how to. Simple, easy, as long as you have all of, let's just call ingredients that you need. Items. These will save your life so you can make fires if you have to bug out or you have no way to cook at home or to stay warm, to dry yourself off. This is what you need to do, as well as save back food, because with no way to cook food, what's that food going to do you? Not much. Not much good at all. Simple, easy, anybody can do this. You just gotta believe in yourself. I've been wanting to have fun and make one of these videos for a while now and pass on old information. Back in the day, no, they didn't use Ziploc bags. You know what they used? Tinder boxes. They were called tinder boxes for a reason. That. And of course they didn't have lint and stuff, but hey, you use what you can use to get the job done. I hope you've enjoyed this video and it encourages you also to make your own pre-bagged up fire starters. Simple, easy, believe in yourself. Magnesium bar. I prefer ferro rods, but these work just as good as long as you don't try to use the little scraper that comes with it. It's too flimsy and not strong enough. Back of your knife, never the blade edge, or scissors. Good sturdy scissors. And always have backups, not only of your scissors or your knife or your magnesium blocks. Make sure you have plenty. I hope you've enjoyed this video and it encourages you to get out there and start practicing while you can. Hey, I'm rusty, but I still got it done. I haven't done it in a while because, you know, my paper towel and my big lighter is usually what I start a fire with. Well, that's not always going to be available. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to answer them as soon as I can. Everyone, stay safe, stay sound. Keep on prepping those pantries. Get your bare essentials that you're going to need, and think about making your own fire starters. Because like I said, there's no guarantee you're going to get dry fire starting material. Everyone, take care. I look forward to seeing you in my next video, and may you each be blessed. I'll see you soon.